Hey guys, it's Julie of Next Door Fan Gone. Today I am coming to you with a book haul. I've acquired a good number of books over the past couple of months. So this book haul is really going from like May onwards. A lot of these books are books that I bought myself for my birthday with the money that I got from my birthday, and then the others I just picked up along the way. So without further delay, let's get started. The first book that I have here is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I have not yet read. It's on the list. I really want to read it. I actually really want to read it soon, so maybe this month, maybe. I got this like when it came out. I pre-ordered it, but yeah, I'm excited to read this book. Hopefully I'll get to it soon enough. It's just a little scary how large it is. So now we're gonna get into like the books that I got for my birthday, and the first one that I have here is Viscious by Leigh Schwab. So excited to read soon, hopefully. It's nice and short too, and V. Schwab's books for me just like fly by because she's amazing. And this is a origin story for a villain that she wrote, which I think is just a really interesting concept, and I'm really excited to see how she does it. She's just amazing with her complicated characters, and I'm so excited for this one. Next I have A Tyranny of Petticoats by a bunch of different authors. J. Anderson Coates, Andrea Creamer, Y.S. Leigh, Catherine Longshore, Marie Liu, Kekla Magoon, Marissa Myers, Sandra Mitchell, Beth Revis, Caroline Tung Richmond, Lindsay Smith, Jessica Spotswood, Robin Talley, Leslie Walton, and Elizabeth Wine. And this is a little anthology of a bunch of books about badass chicks. 15 stories of belles, bank robbers, and other badass girls. So I've been interested in this since it came out. It seemed really cool. Just some stories about some kick-ass ladies, so why not? Next I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I'm really looking forward to reading this book, but I think to read the Grisha trilogy first, which leads me into the next book that I have, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, the first book in the Grisha trilogy. Like I said, I want to read this before I read Six of Crows because they're like in the same world, but this is like the series that takes place before the original series, and that one was like kind of like a spin-off. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get to those soon-ish. Next up I have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Look at his author picture in here. Is it? You better have. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, Pierce. Oh, don't focus on me, focus on Pierce. A lot of these books I don't even really know what they're about. So this is a sci-fi book, and it takes place on Mars, where humans have like started to colonize it, and there's this caste system where the reds are at the bottom, and oh, that's why it's called Red Rise. Huh? The reds are at the bottom, and like, I think the golds are at the top. And the reds are like slaves, and the main character Darrow is a red, and he finds out that like he's a slave essentially. It just seems really interesting, and I've heard great things about this series, so yeah. Next up I have The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, and this book I have had my eye on for a while now, and I just really wanted it in hardcover, so I like never got it when I was in the bookstore. It's based off of like Celtic mythology with water horses and all that stuff, which is like really cool. And the Scorpio Races are like this big race that happens I think every year. Yeah, every year between like all the water horses, and like a bunch of people die. And the main character, Puck, I think, right? Yeah, Puck. They have such Irish names. Puck Connolly and Sean Kendrick. So Puck joins the Scorpio Races. She's the first girl ever to do so, and the other like main character is Sean, who has been doing the Scorpio Races for like a few years now, I think, and he's the returning champ. And yeah, I've been really interested in this book for a while now, so I'm happy to finally have it in my hands. Another book I've just heard so much about, Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Oh my god, she's got her initials carved. I don't know if you can kind of see that. That's an ST. She's got her initials carved into like the book. That's pretty nice. And a beautiful map. Oh my god, we haven't done hardback tests. We're going back. Rewind, guys. Court of Mist and Fury. Just nice plain black hardback. It's got nice writing though. Viscious. Ooh, gray. Oh, and it's almost like felty. Huh, nothing on the spine, just a good old plain book. Maybe it's like there's no black and white in the world, it's all gray, you know, like the evil and the good. And I got you. Tyranny of Petticoats Nice spine, just kind of plain white. Interesting texture again. 6 of Crows. Nice and black. That beautiful red writing. Oh, so enchanting. Shadow and Bone. I'm moving like a freaking speed demon right now. Oh, it's very similar to 6 of Crows, just black. There's no raven on this one, or crow on this one though. And that black, red spine. Red Rising, similar black, red writing on the spine. Very cool. Scorpio Races. Oh, I like this one. It's got that like kind of purple, but it says Scorpio Races. And then just like that nice black classic spine with some gold writing. Very nice, very nice. Okay, back to An Ember in the Ashes. So this book takes place in like this kind of mystical empire, kind of inspired by like the ancient Roman Empire. It's just like a very impressive system, and the main character, Leia, L-A-I-A, Leia, it's not Leia, 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 I'm gonna say Leia, because I'm probably wrong. Leia is like on the bottom of the social stuff, and she just kind of wants like to stay out of the Empire's way, you know, no fuss, no muss. What's wrong with me? But then her brother is arrested for treason, and so she's gotta, you know, she's gotta help him out. So she makes a deal with this group of rebels who will help her with her brother if she spies on the Empire from within their big military academy. And there she meets Elias, who is top of the class soldier, but surprisingly, he's actually not all that fond of the system either. And yeah, I've heard this book's like very like, you know, a lot of political intrigue and stuff, which I like. So I'm excited to read it eventually. Next we have a kind of new one with The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. This book takes place in like an old-timey Russia. So we got the Ottoman Empire and the Kazakhs. Ooh. Threatening, and so the Tsar's like, you know, I gotta prove myself here. I need this badass enchanter next to me. So he initiates the Crown's Game, which is the title of the book, in which the 2 enchanters in all of Russia compete to the death, and the victor is the Imperial Enchanter and the loser is dead. And so we have these 2 enchanters in all of Russia, Vika and Nikolai. And Vika kind of is from, you know, like a humble background, but she's like really badass and like web smart and beautiful. Nikolai is an orphan, but somehow he's like BFFs with the heir to the throne. I'm not sure how that happened. But he and Pasha, the heir to the throne, start falling for Vika, and so it's, you know, got all that romance and all that good stuff. So I'm really excited to read this book. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and I just check the hardback, and it is golden with a crown, and then, oh, look at that spine. Oh, what a pretty spine. I like it, I like it. Next up we have The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This book follows the Princess Leah. I think I'm pronouncing it right this time. It's L-I-A. I think that's Leah. And Leah is obviously the princess, like I just said, but she is in this arranged marriage, so she's supposed to marry this guy for like political reasons and whatnot, you know, princess props. And she's kind of like, I don't want to do that. So she runs away. And sent after her is this prince and this assassin, and she doesn't know which one is which, and there's romance and action and stuff. And this book I've heard really good things about. I've heard really good things about all these books. Look at that. Again, excited to read it like I am with all of these books. Let's hardback test this bit. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that inside. Very beautiful. And we got a nice green hardback and this kind of nice little emblem kind of engraved in there. Just nice simple spine. Very elegant. Alright, and next we have another one from the Queen Victoria Schwab, and this is The Archived. This one is about a girl whose name is Mackenzie, who works in the Library of the Dead. So Mackenzie, or Mac, was brought to the archive where all the like dead are stored, like books essentially, when she was young, and her dad worked there, and then her dad passes away and she becomes a keeper. Her job is to like keep the dead at rest essentially. Now Da is gone and Mac has grown into what he once was, a ruthless keeper tasked with stopping often violent histories, which are the dead people, from waking up and getting out. So she's got to keep the dead in check, and then something sketchy starts going on. Someone is messing with the histories and Mac has to deal with it. This book sounds so freaking cool. It is a series Oh my god, I'm pretty sure that's the key that Victoria Schwab has tattooed on her arm. I think it is. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this book too. Next we have a classic. We have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This one I am really, really excited to read. I've been wanting to read this for like years. So I'm just gonna read it because it's gonna do a better job than I will. It is 1939, Nazi Germany. The country is holding its breath. Death has never been busier and will become busier still. Liesl Meminger finds her life changed when she unearths a single object from the snow. It is the gravedigger's handbook left there by accident at her brother's funeral, and it is her first act of book thievery. But these are dangerous times. When Liesl's foster family hides a Jewish man in their basement, Liesl's world is both opened up and closed down. In superbly crafted prose that burns with intensity, award-winning author Marcus Zusak has given us one of the most enduring stories of our time. I can't say anything else because that just was perfect. Okay, I think we're finally out of the birthday books. So now, we move on to just my indulgences. I may have actually got this one for my birthday too, I'm not sure. But it is The Shadowy Horses by Susanna Kearsley. I've read this book, it's amazing. I'm like obsessed with Susanna Kearsley's writing now. This book is about an archaeologist named Verity who gets this new job on this archaeological dig up in Scotland, like, yes. This was like the book that kicked off my Scotland kick. And so the purpose of this archaeological dig is to find the Roman 9th Legion, which is this Roman legion, obviously, that was in Scotland, like, God, like early couple hundred AD, maybe like 200 or 300, I'm not sure. And then they just kind of disappeared and no one knows what happened to them. Some people think that they got wiped out by the local clans and such. Some people think that they went over to like Germany or something, but no one knows for sure. They just kind of were in the records and then they disappeared. So the archaeologist that Verity is working for, Peter, has been obsessed with finding the 9th Legion like his whole career. He's kind of gotten a reputation for being a bit of a nut because of it. And the reason that he is here at this site looking is not because any of his research has led him here or he's got a lead. It's because this young local boy has seen a Roman sentinel wandering around the fields. So this book is really cool. It deals with like kind of psychic stuff. It's got that paranormal aspect, but it also has this great historical aspect to it and also some romance. It's really good. I really, really recommend it. Susanna Kearsley's amazing. So the next book I actually got at the Barnes & Noble, what was it called? Teen Fest thing that they did earlier this summer, and I got Elusion by Claudia, Gabel, and Cheryl Klam. Claudia was actually there signing books, and so I was like talking to her, and I picked the book up, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting, I'll get it, and I can get it signed too, which was really cool. She signed it right there. It says, "To Julia, enjoy your escape, XO Claudia Gabel." And so this book is about this new, like, video game type thing. Virtual reality, that's the word I'm looking for. This new virtual reality sensation called Elusion. So our main character, Reagan, is the daughter of the inventor of Elusion, and her best friend, Patrick, who is heir to the tech giant Orexis, is about to release the program worldwide. But then these, like, rumors come trickling in that the program is addictive and dangerous, and Reagan has to kind of deal with this backlash and figure out, like, you know, is it dangerous and stuff, and it's about escaping into that world and, you know, also kind of being afraid of coming back to reality. And it sounds really interesting. It's got a beautiful cover, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Okay, so the next book I have is actually on my Nook, and this was going along with this Scotland kick I was on. I was, like, preparing myself to read Outlander, but, like, was too afraid to go into, like, the ginormousness that is Outlander. The next book I have is The Pride of Lions by Marsha Canham, and this is the cover for it. Just, yeah. Oh, this is totally throwing off my white balance, hold on. This is a bit of a steamy book. It's, you know, an adult romance novel. It takes place, like, right before the Jacobite Rebellion in Scotland, right before the 45, I think. And it follows the story of this girl, Catherine, who is from a very privileged English family, and she's a bit of a flirt, and she gets herself into some trouble on her birthday, and there ends up being a duel for her honor between the man who she wants to marry and this man who she was caught kissing on the balcony. That man ends up winning, and in winning the duel, he wins her hand in marriage. But as it turns out, her new husband is not who he said he was. He is actually Alexander Cameron, a Highland warrior who is returning from 15 years of exile to his home in Scotland. And so Catherine, who is from high society England, unsurprisingly her family is completely in support of King George in the coming rebellion. And so she's surrounded by all these people with different views. She's up in Scotland. There's the aspect of her being an outsider, and then there's these feelings that start to arise between her and Alexander, and yeah, it was a really quick read. It was a good book. I actually bought the sequel too. I haven't read it yet. But it was entertaining, you know, definitely an adult book, but it was fun. Had some nice Scottish men in it. That's all you could really ask for, right? And continuing with this Scotland kick, we have another Susanna and Kearsley book, The Winter Sea. This one was even better than Shadowy Horses. This is actually like one of the best books I've ever read. I don't want to give anything away in my own rendition of its synopsis, so I'm just gonna read the back for it and y'all can see how good it is. History has all but forgotten. In the spring of 1708, an invading Jacobite fleet of French and Scottish soldiers nearly succeeded in landing the exiled James Stuart in Scotland to reclaim his throne. Now, Carrie McClelland hopes to turn that story into her next best-selling novel. Settling herself in the shadow of Slane's castle, she creates a heroine named for one of her own ancestors and starts to write. But when she discovers her novel is more fact than fiction, Carrie wonders if she might be dealing with ancestral memory, making her the only living person who knows the truth, the ultimate betrayal that happened all those years ago, and that knowledge comes very close to destroying her. This book is so good. You read Carrie's story, but then you also read what Carrie's writing, and it's just so good, and it deals with this really interesting time in history. The Jacobite rebellions, there were quite a few of them, and the 45, the last one, the big one with Culloden and everything, is the one that's most remembered, but the 1708 invasion, though certainly not as bloody, was really interesting too, and it was really interesting to learn about that, and yeah, it was just a really good book, and Susanna Kearsley just beautifully brings history to life, and beautifully mixes history with fiction, and oh my god, and she does her research. It's just amazing. Highly, highly recommend. And also, as an aspiring writer, it was really interesting to read an author's process of writing a book, so that was really cool too. I really recommend this book. It's really good. Alright, next, if you can't tell, I got a bit obsessed with Scotland and the Jacobites recently. So, next I have Jacobites, A New History of the 45 Rebellion. This is just a history book on the 1745 Jacobite Rebellion by Jacqueline Riding. I've actually started this. I'm like, I don't know, I'm on chapter 3. I'm just gonna work my way through this leisurely and learn a bit more about history and Scottish men in history. And this is the Naked Jacobites. These next two books I actually got for free at VidCon, at the Barnes & Noble Bookish Cosplay event. That. And so I got The Silence of Six by E.C. Myers. And so this book is about hackers and like this kind of government conspiracy thing and figuring out what this Silence of Six is. It seems very interesting. And yeah. The second book I got there is Air by Ryan Gatiss. This book is about this kid named Gray who, after his mom dies in Colorado, is shipped off to live with his aunt, I think, right? Yeah, to live with his aunt in inner city Baltimore, and he becomes a part of this group that uses high-octane sports as a form of social activism. It says by challenging the police with death-defying stunts and posting videos of them online, Curtis, Gray, Ackle, and their group become unlikely heroes in the fight against the prejudice that surrounds them. As the line between social activism and criminal behavior blur as their escalating stunts become a rallying point for the underprivileged and disenfranchised around the country, spreading like wildfire across the internet. This book sounds interesting. I'm not really like a sports person, if you haven't guessed that already, but I might like pick this up for just like kind of a entertaining read. Next I have yet another book from the Queen, Victoria de Schwab, This Savage Song. This Savage Song is about monsters, and it's amazing. I have read it, I love it, it's so good. So in the world that this takes place in, violent acts give way to actual monsters. So we have three different types of monsters, the Corsai, the Malachi, and the Sunai. Corsai are caused by non-lethal acts of violence, Malachi are created by murders, and the Sunai, who are the rarest form of all the monsters, are created by, like, mass tragedies. So the book follows two characters. The first one is August Flynn, who is a Sunai, and the thing about Sunai is that they're a bit different than the other monsters. The monsters eat people, that's their food, but the Corsai and the Malachi, they don't have any, like, discretion in who they eat, but the Sunai can only feed on sinners, and they actually feed on their souls. It's really cool. And so August is a Sunai, but he wants to be a human. He doesn't like being a monster. He wants to just be a normal boy. Our second main character is Kate Harker, whose father controls half of the city of Verity. The city is split in two, where North City is controlled by Callum Harker. People have to pay him for protection, and he keeps the monsters in control in return. South City is controlled by Henry Flynn, who is August's adopted father, and there is a task force where they try and kill the monsters to keep them under control. So Kate's dad is not a good guy, he's a bad guy, and Kate aspires to be just as ruthless as he is. And so the story is about these two very different people coming together, meeting each other, forming an unlikely relationship, dealing with the world around them, and dealing with who you are and what you can and can't change about that. It's really, really good and beautifully written, of course. I'm in love with this book. I cannot wait for the sequel, which comes out next year. Next, I have one of my new favorite books in the whole entire world, and that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Yeah, Outlander, guys. I read it. It's amazing. I actually do already have a version of Outlander, but this one was just easier to read because it's nice and tiny, and I didn't want to mess with my beautiful version over here. If you don't know what Outlander's about, it's time travel and beautiful Scottish men in kilts. That's all you need to know. So next I have Dragonfly and Amber by Diana Gabaldon, the second book in the Outlander series, which I have not been able to get into yet just because I'm afraid to read it, in part due to its size, in part due to the emotional turmoil I know it will put me through and the damage that will be done when it's over. I started it and the damage has already partially been done, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to reading this just because I haven't fully recovered, I think, from Outlander, so yeah, I don't know when this is gonna happen, but I'm excited and dreading it. Next, I have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which is a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and it's this kind of coming of age story about these two kids who don't really fit in. It seems really good. I've heard great things about it, but I'm actually thinking I'm going to listen to the audiobook of it because it's actually narrated by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's kind of amazing. Okay, so next I have a classic, and that is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. I'm just going to read the description because I cannot describe it better. Set in Italy during World War II, this is the story of the incomparable, malingering bombardier Yasserin, a hero who is furious because thousands of people he has never met are trying to kill him. But his real problem is not the enemy, it is his own army, which keeps increasing the number of missions the men must fly to complete their service. Yet if Yasserin makes any attempt to excuse himself from the perilous missions he's assigned, he'll be in violation of Catch-22, a hilariously sinister, bureaucratic rule. A man is considered insane if he willingly continues to fly dangerous combat missions, but if he makes a formal request to be removed from duty, he's proven sane and therefore ineligible to be relieved. So I'm sure most of you guys have heard of this book. A lot of you guys have probably read it. I have not read it yet. I did start it. It was really funny. I'm excited to actually read all of it and enjoy it. Alright, last we have probably the biggest bookish release this year and in the past 10 years or ever, maybe. It's kind of a big deal. It's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2 by J.K. Rowling, but also by John Tiffany and Jake Thorne. I don't think I need to tell you what this is about. I'm a bit hesitant to read this book. You know, I'm a little worried that they didn't leave well enough alone. I've heard mixed reviews. I just hope that it keeps with the original spirit of the books, and I hope it's good. I also really want to see the play. Not sure when that's gonna happen because I don't think it's coming to New York anytime soon, and I'm not planning on being in London anytime soon. Maybe fate will change that. I would love to be in London, right now. Oh, that actually is not the last book I have. I couldn't find this one. I just bought it and read it recently, but I don't know where it went. So I'll put the cover right here, and that is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I read it. It was amazing. So funny. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the books. It was just a fun read, just kind of nonsense, but really entertaining, so it's a good beach read. So those are my 24, 25, I guess then, books. Actually no, that's 27 books. Oh my god. Okay, let's see if I can hold these babies. Okay, that's about half of them. I can't fit the rest. This is all I can. Oh, it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. I'm very weak. Alright. I now have to clean up. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, please hit the subscribe button below. All of my social media links and stuff are down below. Let me know what books you're into right now. Sorry I've been a bit AWOL. Hopefully I will be getting back on a normal track. This is the first time I've put makeup on since, like, VidCon. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Live long and prosper. Next up, I have Red Rising by, I was about to say by Ransom Riggs. Next up, I have I always forget the right title for the Scorpio Races. Ember in the Ashes by, who is this by? Sabaa, right? Next up we have, who is this by? Argon. Oh my god, we did the Horkback test. Pierce. I was about to say Susanna Collins. So in the world that this takes place in, violent acts had physical consequences. Well, obviously violent acts have physical consequences.